This is Don King and Rick Gleason coming to you from the heartbeat of worker health and safety from the University of Washington, Region 10, OSHA Training Center. In the OSHA 10, we also have Alaska, Oregon, and Idaho. So, Rick, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and if you will introduce our guest, that would be great.
I sure will. Thank you, John. We have a special guest today. He actually teaches at Rutgers, way back in New Jersey and New York, but he's been coming out to help us at the University of Washington in the Department of Environmental and Occupational Health Sciences for the last 28 years. And I think this is his 59th trip out here helping us out. So he's been a great assistance to us. And his name is John Malool. Just a great guy. I mean, he's been the fire chief, he's been an instructor, he's been an emergency responder, he's been teaching. In fact, today we just pulled him away from helping us out in a hazardous waste refresher class. And this is his fourth class this week to help out us here at the University of Washington. But John, as I understand, you've given a few classes, and you're going to be given a couple more on Bakken Oil transportation and some of the emerging risks and information. So, first of all, thank you for being here.
My pleasure, Rick.
And what can you tell us about these classes and the hazards and what you've been doing? Because this is you're the first one to really do classes on these risks.
Well, as you know, Bakken fuel oil is a major concern right now. The fuel oil coming from North Dakota and the Bakken fuel region has resulted in a number of significant incidents, the worst one being the one several years ago in Canada where the 47 people were killed. So with the increase of oil transportation, certainly we see an increase in the potential for derailments and fires. Certainly the one here in the Pacific Northwest a few weeks ago in Oregon brings to mind, again, how important it is to be prepared for these emergencies.
Boy, that's great, John. Who would be a target audience for this?
The way the class is designed is it's designed for a bunch of different folks. Certainly emergency responders, firefighters, hazmat team members, but it shouldn't be limited to just them. People in the emergency management field, elected officials, anyone who has a concern about being prepared for oil train incident occurring in their community should attend.
Got it. I know you're going to be doing one the day before the Washington State Governor's Safety and Health Conference in Spokane, Washington. So you have a one-day class coming up on September 27th of this year, 2016. How many other courses have you done so far?
Well, we have done 4 originally earlier this year. Then I was asked to come back for the Washington State Fire District officers meeting, which was held up in Snohomish County. And we actually have 2 additional classes scheduled for August next month. One will be in Oregon and one will be here in the Seattle area.
Wow, this is great. And your background lends that exactly. Your whole life's really been emergency response, fire department, firefighting, response.
I've been a firefighter for the last 42 years. I just started my 43rd year as a firefighter. I've been a chief for 11, and I I coordinate a large multiple city regionalized hazmat unit. Our responses are pretty similar. My city or community gets maybe 25 train shipments a week of Bakken crude oil going through it, and we know that the city of Seattle gets 28 shipments a week. So our hazard is pretty similar. And if you figure that out, it's millions of gallons of pretty flammable material that are going through our cities.
How many rail cars are in a typical shipment?
Well, these trains are shipped as what we refer to as unit trains. So that means that the only thing that's being pulled by the locomotives are these rail cars. They typically run between 100 and 125 rail cars, with each rail car holding 30,000 gallons of capacity.
Wow, amazing.
And you do that 28 times a week in Seattle.
That's good to know. I didn't realize the volume. I didn't realize the frequency. Wow, that is amazing. Well, John, if folks wanted to get in contact with you, how could they do that?
They more than welcome to do that. The easiest way is through email. They can email me at my email address, which is FDRP, Frank David Robert Paul, then the number 30, FDRP30 at yahoo.com.
Gosh, that's perfect. And they can also go on our website to look at John's previous classes and the classes we have coming up. And that website is www.osha.washington, and that Washington is spelled out, .edu, and then click on Continuing Education, and you'll see all of John's 3 upcoming classes then, as well as information about him and the hazards of Bakken Oil transport. So, boy, this is great. It's very timely, too. I think your class, the first one, was probably the first one that was ever really put on these types of risks.
It was the first one, definitely in the Pacific Northwest. And we had a lot of good feedback. We had some really great comments from students, and it certainly is designed to make you more aware. We're not going to give you a bunch of answers. We're going to give you things to go back and assess at your community level to figure out, if this was to happen, are we ready and are we capable of handling that type of a situation?
Wow, this is great. And let's see, Don, any last thoughts?
Well, I was
words
just
of
going to
wisdom?
ask him, what's the size of the class you like to have that's manageable?
Well, for this type of a class, we'll put as many people into the class as we can. It's more important that they get the information. So we could put and easily accommodate 40, 50 people in the class. When we ran the class in conjunction with the Snohomish Fire Protection District 1 up in Everett, they were tremendously gracious, and they gave us full use of their new training facility, which could easily accommodate 50, 60 people. So if we go back there for the upcoming class, we could easily accommodate that.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
Excellent. Don, any other last conclusions?
I guess if I were going to make a quote based on what we've learned here today and heard, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And that's by Robert Swan. So
I like it. And so John's trying to train us on how we can save ourselves and help our community and the public and effectively provide safe transportation for this material over our railroad system.
Absolutely.
So, all right. John, thank you so much. And
to all of those of you out there, listeners, workers, and people that we care about, be safe and aloha.
I was young and feisty, never did things by the book. Just let me get my toolbox and I'll take myself a look. I climbed up on the dozer with my mechanic's pride, said, "You can keep it running, friend," while I poke around inside. Shake hands with danger, meet a guy you ought to know. I used to laugh at safety, now they call me Three-Finger Joe. Though I learned a lesson, I forgot it soon enough. The nicks and burns and scratches showed the young ones I was tough. Till another morning, I was grinding on some steel. My other hand got careless and fed my skin into the wheel. Shake hands with danger, step right up and say hello. Grinding wheels and metal are what made me Three-Finger Joe. I've seen mechanics burning, and I've seen them take a fall just to save themselves a minute. I've seen them lose it all. I've watched them courting trouble Seen them take a chance and lose. They get careless for a moment, spend a lifetime with the blues. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with danger and some friends I used to know. Compared to them, I'm lucky to be just Three-Finger Joe.